again, like it's a memory thing with me. I mean, I don't want to sound blasé, but it's just you do so much, you know, and then you have to revisit it. You can't quite remember. Things blend. All I can remember is that when I went in there in Africa to do it, I wasn't as aware of the songs maybe as I should have been because we're approaching them differently. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I was more aware of the rehearsals, or in my brain, you know, in my sort of subconscious, I was kind of thinking that. And then you don't see them as songs as much, you see them as arrangements. So when we got there, they were very bare, you know, and it would be like, well, there's the song on the guitar or on the piano, but now we've got to put the backing track down first. So it was always like, okay, now we've got to remember what the song is. We've got to remember the arrangement, just play the drums and the guitar part, you know. So it became another thing then. So you're now learning the song as a little piece rather than a song. And then you go back to putting the song, the words, the lyric, the harmonies, whatever, on it. And it becomes a slightly different song as the way it was before. It's still the same melody, still the same lyric. But the approach to it would depend on what the backing track is like, you know? Do you know what I mean? The way that you would do the vocal would depend on what happened with the drum part, you know, the phrasing. And I remember on my song, No Words, that, you know, Paul helped me with at the end of the day. He was playing the drums and then he sort of forgot where to come in. So he stopped and then came in a bar later or something. And we thought, well, that's unusual. We kept it in. You know, it was like doom, digga-doom, doom, doom, and then he came back in. But we used that. And then when we got the string arrangements for it, we worked the string arrangements around that drum break. So all these little things that happen accidentally suddenly become part of the thing. That's fun when you do stuff like that. Again, I wasn't there, and I'm not one to tell stories unless I am there. But what I heard was, I was in this house and they were in that house, and it was probably a couple of 100 yards away, if that. And we'd been told not to go out at night, and you know, because of robbery. And now you've got to remember that part of the world, you know, they have wars all the time, and there's a lot of thieves, and they don't take prisoners, basically, because if they take prisoners, I mean, if they let people go, they would probably be, you know, executed because just for stealing. There was a military regime, so therefore they don't want any witnesses. So there's a chance that they could have been, you know, attacked, if not killed, for doing this. So they're walking back, they've got cameras and they've got these tapes from my house, our house, the band's house. And you could see their house. They get robbed. Paul, being the ultimate, you know, diplomat, talked them out of it. Just take everything, leave us alone with. And I think the fact that they were English, you know, or American and English, white, and you know, looked like they might be important. They left them alone, just took the stuff and went off, which is good because I did read the next day that they had executed somebody for just being a thief, you know. So that was pretty frightening actually, and it was in Life magazine. It was a huge spread, and this guy was not a murderer, but they don't want to mess around, bang, you know. So, like I say, usually if they steal off you, you're in big trouble, you know. And it was, now I know that from that interview I did with Denny, that it was the tapes of the rehearsals and not our outtakes from the studio. Maybe that's why we did different versions, because we didn't have the tapes anymore to copy. I don't know.